Hello and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are going to be continuing and finishing off the narration and character voice acting for the side story, Adventure That Cannot Wait for the Sun. Alright then, final part. So as always, to anybody who bumps into the voiceover through this episode, the full playlist can be found in the description of the video. So just click it and enjoy, and thank you very much. And as always guys, thank you very much for all the support, comments and stuff that you leave on these episodes. They mean a lot and they help a lot. And also they remind me of stuff from time to time, because last time I got reminded of a thing that I wanted to actually mention at the end of the episode, but forgot to do so, so thank you for the reminder. And it's about the in-game book that was mentioned by Anat essentially, or was it Pepe? One of the two. Essentially, the book Terra: A Journey that appears in the game text of this story essentially is an actual book. It is the official lore book essentially by Hypergriff for this game that still to this day is not available in English, and I will be reading into the heavens until it appears in English. I know that people do fan translations of the book and stuff, that they exist, but I really want the book as an official translation. I want it. Eventually it will probably happen. I mean, they're currently translating it into Japanese, and it will be available in Japanese as well, so hope and cope, eventually. I mean, Hypergriff, please, I can guarantee you that book will sell like hotcakes when it comes to global and into English. I can guarantee you, you will sell out your stock very quick. But yeah, anyway, one day it will happen. So yeah, thank you for that reminder. And also one quick little thing as well before we head into the usual. The operator record that I was mentioning before, in this case for Lazvar, aka Sand Reckoner, as I said, I'm gonna be including it in this, or rather, I wanted to include it in this episode as an epilogue, if it is an epilogue, which it turns out it is not. The operator record for Sand Reckoner is not an epilogue, it is a prequel, essentially set sometime before the story even begins, and all I'm gonna say right now is it will be going up on the channel, of course, in like a day after this goes up, but the biggest focus of the operator record is mostly on Lazvar, of course, but also on his relationship with the two sovereigns of beasts that are with him, and it's very wholesome. Is all I'm gonna say. If it wasn't already clear from the story so far, the relationship between the three of them is pretty much like much like a son and parents, essentially, you know, child and parents kind of relationship between the three of them. It is very wholesome, and also the parents in this case also double down as pets, so it's wholesome. You'll see it when it goes up on the channel. But yeah, it is not an epilogue, so it will not be part of this. But yeah, anyway, let's proceed into the usual recap. So for those of you who want to skip that, you can do so by using the timestamps provided down below in the pinned comment by me. So hit it and you will be right at the start. But anyway, on the previous part, we began the story with Anat and Pepe having a little discussion, essentially about Pepe's ambition and why she wants to be the historian for the Shahanshah in the City of Gold, and it is for a very wholesome goal at the end. She isn't trying just to become a historian for history's sake and recording history. She's mostly trying to do it because of the fact that she wants to spare her brother from the fate of being pretty much imprisoned in the City of Gold and never being able to leave it again. While on the other hand, her brother pretty much had the same goal, to prevent Pepe from being imprisoned in the City of Gold and being a historian forevermore. And it seems by what Anat tells Pepe that, well, Pepe is a bit too late on that front, as the emissary from the City of Gold had already arrived at their residence, and it seems that her brother has already gone to the City of Gold. In the meantime, Zubair meets the two sovereigns of beasts that have been waiting for him, and Lazvar hands him another gem, reclaiming his identity fully now. As he's fully awake now and fully conscious of who he was and what his goals are, Zubair then starts to awaken countless constructs to start remodeling the city into something more akin to the mausoleum, essentially. And he also talks with Lazvar about the past, and we get to know why Lazvar was waiting for Zubair and was searching for him, and essentially his connection to Zubair. As we learn, Lazvar's family had pretty much a blood debt to pay to the general, as once upon a time his family, his ancestor essentially led the Lord Zamir to the treasure trove that Zubair was guarding, and they pretty much ripped him apart back then. And since then, his family has been pretty much waiting the moment that they can pay the debt back, which now has been paid in full, and Zubair sets Lazvar free from it. After that, Zubair asked the two sovereign for help to put Pepe and Narantuya through some trials of their own. Which then in turn immediately Pepe later runs into Mio, who stops her and turns into a giant beast swallowing Pepe whole, and the city also falls into more and more chaos. Narantuya, on the other hand, runs into Woof and many constructs that are with him, and it's revealed in that moment that Narantuya is indeed a descendant of Karandu Kagan. Then Narantuya finds herself in an illusion meant to make her go on her Kagan quest, essentially, but she pretty much refuses to do so, and she is saved from the illusion by Aspasia, who chases Woof away. Still a very, very badass moment. Pepe, meanwhile, in her own illusion, sees Zubair's past. She sees a young man grow up, or rather a young boy grow up to be a young man, and then getting mortally injured, and she also sees his relationship with his own older sister, and pretty much a mirror image of her relationship with her brother. Pepe then ultimately passes the test that was presented to her by Mio, and she goes to meet Zubair. And back at the museum, Narantuya and Aspasia offer to help save the city from sinking into the sand. And that is where we left off, so let's continue. And we are continuing obviously on the last two things that are in here. So, stage number 9. Very quickly before we go into anything, stage number 9 is obviously the boss battle stage, which I will be including in this video. And it will be pretty much a seeming transition between cutscene first, battle immediately in the middle, and then cutscene after, and then we continue normally. So, let's begin with stage number 9. Farewell to the past. The goal they had dreamt of lies before them, but they chose to cross over it. Welcome, Pepe.
Is this the Shah's treasure trove? It looks so much like the museum.
Your instincts are correct. Parts of the city felt familiar, even before my memories returned. I believe its architects may have been inspired by the mausoleum.
What lies here, Zubair?
The oil lamps on the wall light up, illuminating the hall with rays that meander through the mirror-smooth walls and pillars. Countless ghostly shadows appear in an orderly procession in the hall.
So the treasure in the Shah's trove was himself? Was he a narcissist?
Of course not. My sister missed father after he was gone, and she had me preserve his visage here. 1,000 years ago, historians preserved the words and deeds of my father using ancient technology they discovered, allowing him to appear, in a way.
I found something similar in Arsalan. It showed me an image of the Shah in a crystal cave.
I left it as such. I thought a descendant of Knights Mora would find it and follow the trail.
You hid it too well, Zubair. No one else could have found it.
I hid it. but build a massive temple on top of it.
I guess it didn't stand the test of time. All I found were some ruins.
But it guided you here, where you awakened me. That is the wonder of time. What seemed trivial at the time could, by fate and coincidence, cause the puzzle piece to fall perfectly into place.
There are even images of the Shah without his mask. Arsalan wasn't the only set I've seen images like these. When I was little, while playing hide and seek, my brother and I stumbled upon a chamber where the dead lay in their sarcophagi. I knew I would have to come into contact with these things eventually, but it was too much for a child of my age. In my panic, I accidentally activated a mechanism, and an image of the Shah appeared. At the time, I didn't know who he was. Just some ghost trying to communicate with me. He told me those sarcophagi were history buried in the sand. When those from the future dig them up, they will serve as a bridge across the vastness of time, bringing history and the present together over the great river of time.
I remember the saying. It's what father said to comfort my sister when her mother passed away. I remember what he said to my sister after she became historian. You must not let escape what made those heroes heroes, so each history has its reverse face. So you've heard it.
It was the last thing the image said. I've never forgotten.
Looking upon the image of Lugalszargus, Pepe cannot help but feel a sense of absurdity. She had spent so much time wondering what the Shah's treasure trove held. Now, though, she realizes she has been chasing shadow after shadow. She holds her hammer tight, fighting back the urge to swing it and drive away the visages. But what she fears more is the notion that perhaps her family's duty and legacy are nothing more than shadows too.
Medjehtiqedti, I've contacted all your staff in the directory. Anyone else crazy enough to come? I'm not sure. A lot of the answers are very vague. Thank you. Get a few more bottles of water for Anat, please. At once, Medjehtiqedti. Brave souls like Izaja and Inaja are hard to come by. We only have a couple of hours, Anat. The best thing we could ask of them is to make a run for it outside the city. Sorry, Titi, but I'm busy comparing the city's survey records and I don't have time to think about that. But you know why I stayed. The same reason as you. Duty. What about the two tourists, though? They have nothing to do with Zubair's reanimation. They don't even have much to do with the city, but now we're asking them to go into the sewers to do more dangerous investigation and try to block the sand from surging in. Which is why I must do my best, so that their courage isn't wasted. I'll rub your ears. Thank you, Titi. I needed that. Look, this construction logbook mentions unusual geological structures. I'll mark them down. Say, Titi, I never managed to publish my research on Zubair, and no one will ever know about our explorations of the subterranean structures of the city. Will Father be disappointed that I died without leaving my name behind? Blame Pepe. Our dear princess was just too good at her job. Lazvar Effendi? I apologize, esteemed overseer, but the museum is not in a position to offer hospitality during this emergency.
Please, no need for formalities. I'm no longer the overseer, just a humble craftsman. Free again at last.
The museum cannot guarantee your safety at this time. We must advise you to leave the city center as soon as possible, by any means possible.
After I handed everything over, I stood before the flowing sands with Zubair Effendi for a while.
You saw him?
I saw him attempt to repair one clay statue after another using arts, but eventually he stopped and said to me, "Such is our duty." I understand. Duty is what we uphold to the very end, without ever asking why. To whatever end. What can I do to save the city?
Alright, it's time to show my leadership skills. Soon you'll realize that you should have listened to me and stayed in a museum to protect the others.
We'll end up where we started if we turn left here.
What the heck is going on? This hasn't happened before in all my time in these sewers. Let me just say that I've never gotten lost when leading my crew. This isn't an indicator of my incompetence.
I didn't say it was. Perhaps these winding passages were designed to confuse your sense of direction. I overheard part of the conversation as the museum curators were perusing the survey records. They believe these old sewers are just a small part of the city's underground structures, and they might be able to deduce a path to the deeper levels through historical records. They had been assisting an archaeologist, trying to find clues that may lead to the site known as the treasure trove in ancient documents. If the former site of another massive building really is hidden beneath the city...
A treasure trove?
Forget I said anything. You don't seem afraid.
Afraid of what? Isn't our job just to find the sand leak and close the gate to that section? If the gate's broken, we'll just seal it with the boards that we're carrying.
There is a good chance we won't find it.
Well, that would be a shame, since the city is getting buried in the sand if we fail. But we'll be the first to see the sand rushing up from the deep down, and we may have time to call the museum and warn them to run. We'll be dead for sure, of course.
Wait, is this why you insisted on coming to the sewers? Because it's dangerous and you need to be at the front of it?
Narantuya, Aspasia, do you hear me?
Yeah, we're together.
We found a clue. Listen carefully, and you should find Lazarus foul beast. They're machines that resemble blue foul beasts. We've estimated a few possible locations for the deep-level structures. If we can create an opening in the wall, the clockwork foul beasts can fly down and gather information. With enough information, we should be able to find exactly where the sand is rushing in. But there is one caveat. The clockwork foul beasts are unable to perform heavier tasks like toggling switches and plugging gaps. You will have to go into danger.
You must have seen it in the memories that I've showed you. The circlet you're wearing is the same as my sister's.
It was passed down through the family. I wondered why my family was so obsessed with recording the Shahanshah's history. Father had no answer. He simply said it was our inherent duty. But now I see the answer is so simple. It is out of a daughter's longing for her father.
My sister always believed that he would return someday. She never saw that day, and I never got the chance to say goodbye to her. All I had left for company after my sister's death was my father's shadows. Leave your obsession with the City of Gold behind, Pepe. I know how to seal consciousness into a gem, and how to build a body that never decays. You will have life eternal to experience, to discover, to record.
I'm sorry, Zubair. I can't replace your sister and keep you company. I have a younger brother myself. He's the historian of Sharagade.
A shame. It is hardly an honor. They know too much that cannot be put to paper. My foolish brother wanted the historians to document history to his liking, And so he forced my sister to send one of her twin sons into the palace.
1,000 years later, coercion has become honor. The sovereign of beasts said all historians will have their tongues cut out. Is that true?
I do not know the ways of the current Shah, but it is a proven way to keep a secret.
I need to go to the City of Gold and find him, no matter what.
I knew it. Then leave, Pepe.
No, not yet. I can't leave the city to its fate. I can't allow the constructs to continue wreaking havoc in the city. Spare the city. As you said, the most precious treasures have not been defiled.
I cannot stop, Pepe, even if I wanted to. In our lives, we go through many choices, big and small. One links to another, carving out unique circuits for all of us amidst infinite branching paths. My oaths to father and sister have been etched as circuits, preserved for all eternity upon these gems. I can never defy them. Never.
Then tell me how to stop the constructs, Zubair.
I have already told you the answer. The rest is up to you, Pepe. Catch me if you can, like the invading armies so many centuries ago.
There's something I've been meaning to tell you since talking to Ajazi and Ajani the other day. Ben, this is hard rock. I hope we have enough time. What did it say?
A blue clockwork foul beast circles overhead, urging them to dig through the stone bricks before them. Aspasia is glad that everything is going smoothly. She has only one more task before embarking on the path, if it indeed exists.
I learned why you thirst for wealth. You feel like you owe your past crew. Oh. When did it start? The night when we fled for our lives, or the time when I gave away all the treasure? After you left. I heard many stories from Ajazi and Ajani, how they struggled to use saws properly while logging, often breaking them with brute force, how they tried their hand at bookkeeping, but messed up the records. How someone slaughtered their last burden beast with a knife, then sold the knife to buy a pot to treat everyone to a feast. Word about his cooking spread, and he opened a food stall at the market. Customers flocked to his stall till this very day. How someone wrote a novel based on their time as a desert bandit and became published in a local paper. The latest chapters feature your gang traveling back in time to fight for the Shah's throne. Most of your old crew have a house and don't need to migrate with the seasons. If they fix their roofs in time, they won't even leak during monsoon season. I'd say they're all doing rather well. Of course I know that. I respect you, but I don't think you owe them anything. Just as you don't have to save the entire city just to save Ajazi and Ajani. You should get out, go back to see them, then put down your burden, your duty, and start moving forward again.
Aspasia is interrupted by the rumbling of a sliding boulder. The pair seems to have stumbled upon one of the mechanisms of the ancient maze. The etched brick retreats into the walls of the canal, and they hear the sound of falling a few seconds later. The entire wall begins to collapse, but as Anat said, what lies beyond is not sand. Pitch black darkness indicates that they are staring at the interior of a massive structure. There is no path in front of them. The sound of quicksand is clearly audible from deeper in, as though there is a raging river deep in the abyss. A river from which there is no return. The pair throw down their pickaxes and draw their weapons at exactly the same time. kicking up a cloud of dust, the face of less than 10 paces apart.
What are you doing? Stopping you from jumping down. Wasn't I the one who had to stop you just now? Been wanting to say this. If it came to die, I can't let you go any further. I thought you would be better than those two stooges, but it turns out you need me to save you too. I told you you don't have to carry this burden. You've got it wrong. I just want to go down and see for myself. Besides, no one can do it better than me, that's all. I want a mountain of gold, even if I didn't care about letting my crew live a better life. I'm just greedy, plain and simple. In our lives, we go through many choices, big and small. You call it duty. I prefer to call it my choice. This is who I am. Right then. You're a trained fighter who won't walk into a knife? Well, things are about to get real this time. Don't get mad. I have nothing but sincere gratitude towards you, Narantuya. I need not fear a duel with you. I didn't dare believe my heart because I had made an oath to my family about blood and violence, about war being the most just form of violation. But you've shown me how resolved the heart can be. Perhaps there is something to be said about the convictions of the Sargonians. My choices make me who I am. From this day... Hey! Wait for me to finish!
Her vision goes black. A black blade fan sweeps past her eyes. She blinks just once, but the only light source has already gone out. She knows that Narantuya has two black knives. They are equipped with special mechanisms and cannot be unsheathed directly. Yet in that instant all she recalls is the Koranta elders known as the Knights Mora, renowned for their relentless marching day and night, devouring the sun at high noon. She charges at where her counterpart should be, relying on her memory, and comes up empty.
A little sleigh of sand? A simple mirage of origin Marts? Who said anything about winning the fight? All I need to do is jump first.
Embraced by darkness and illusion, Narantuya takes a step back.
Wait, Narantuya! This is not a fair duel! Another silver medal for you. Are you serious, Zubair? You're instructing me to attack you and moving like the wind at the same time.
Give up, Pepe. I told you it's futile. You can never touch me, no matter how hard you swing that hammer of yours.
Huh, I'll show you!
Are you trying to break the support beams to limit my movements? Again, it's futile. The broken columns and floor are quickly repaired by sand, leaving no trace of damage. Pepe goes through illusion after illusion seeking Zubair. Whenever she catches a glimpse, however, he soon disappears behind more illusions and is once again nowhere to be seen. Focus, Pepe.
Did you know, Zubair? Before I turned 14, the doctor said I was a frail girl who would never lift a heavy hammer like this.
Quite the difference, the way you're swinging it, despite your diminutive figure.
I trained under Sargon's top strongmen so that I could penetrate the deserts and jungles and discover long-lost ancient ruins. By the age of 17, I could cross the vast desert on my own and fight off a dozen bandits at the same time.
That alone is not enough, Pepe.
I'm not trying to prove myself to you. I'm just telling you, there has never been anything I couldn't do if I put my mind to it. No matter how hard, how out of reach, as long as I mean it. I can do it!
You hold this impression because you have only lived 22 years. I had cut down countless foes with my sword when I fought under my father's banner. Their screams filled me with confidence. I believed that there was nothing I couldn't acquire, nothing I couldn't do given enough time. Little did I know that my greatest enemy was time itself.
A golden flash, and Pepe feels an intense pain from her ankle before she could turn around. The staff is much heavier than expected.
You must be faster, Pepe. It is etched upon my gem circuit that everyone who violates my father's tomb must die. Your attacks have begun to anger it. It is urging me to put an end to it all.
You should have not played this game with me, Subair.
This is not a game, Pepe.
No, it is.
You closed your eyes.
Nothing but darkness. Pepe knows that her eyes aren't fast enough and will only hold her back. She could never catch her agile brother when playing hide and seek in the garden. He was like a slippery fin. Until one day, she closed her eyes and realized she could hear every footstep her brother made on the stone tiles.
I'm ready, sis. Come look for me. He's right behind me.
Why aren't you coming?
If I turn around quick enough...
Why did you close your eyes? Are you admitting defeat?
I can catch him.
Mustering all her might, Pepe turns and swings her hammer. Sure enough, she hears the sound of shattering.
Perhaps I should bring an extra notebook. There may be lots of things out there worth documenting. Whoa, whoa! Let me down more slowly. There are fragile objects. Put that down. Your filthy hands desecrated.
Toxins and traps are my tactic. Enough, dream. Only nightmares come with me.
治療してほしいやつは前に出ろ。よし。俺らの壁は俺らが守る。私ならたくさんの敵を引きつけられる。改良した装備のテストだ。何やってんだ。Too late to run now. 俺らの壁。ここはそうだな。
私の戦争と
Enough, dream. Only nightmares come with me.
今助けてやる。はい。Which page did I put my notes in? Look at that! Time! 俺らの壁は俺らが守る。しっかりしろ。
What? You think you're a better robber than me?
Which page did I put my notes in? Your filthy hands desecrated. Arch の治療範囲に入れ。
復讐は終わったのです。Lives are always used.
She cannot dream. Only nightmare.
Put that down. Your filthy.
これらの兵器がいかがして誕生したのかは記憶にとどまったままです。
今助けてやる。改良した装備のテストだ。Mission accomplished.
Pepe opens her eyes and sees Zubair's sistrum, inches away from breaking her neck in half. Meanwhile, her hammer is pressed against Zubair's chest, leaving a long crack in the gem on his chest. Congratulations, Pepe. You did it. I could never beat my big sister when we played hide and seek. Some things never change, even after so many centuries.
The gem on your chest.
This time, I think it's beyond repair.
What will happen to you if it's completely shattered?
Eternal peace.
You'll die.
Yes, I will. As your ancestor, may I ask a favor of you, Pepe?
What favor?
Can you take me into that gem?
It's hollow? I thought it was just decorative.
No, there is something there that belongs to me, and me alone. Thanks to them, I could say that all the years I spent guarding this place were not entirely for the sake of others. Some of those days belong to me.
I'll help you up.
Careful, Pepe. This vessel is heavy, but I'll be free of it soon. Yes, stand beneath it. Pepe helps Zubair into the middle of the hall, underneath the massive gem. Light and shadows dance as the massive gem draws all the illumination in the room towards its base, converging at its tip. Though it should be blinding, Pepe feels like she's being wrapped in warm, gentle currents. I see it, young Knights Mora. This is your own dream. Go forward.
Huh? This feels familiar. As if the back beast is stepping on my head again. Hey, Anat, where am I? Aspasia, do you hear me? Should have known. The comm's broken.
She sits up underneath a black backpiece statue. The sound of water flowing echoes through the empty hall. A massive crystal hangs from the dome, and its light reveals numerous images of people, like reflections in water.
Isn't that the shadow I was chasing by the river the other night? Are these shadows what the people of the city see, year after year?
One of the figures stops before her. Narantuya seems to recognize the red hair and the haughty demeanor of the figure looking down at her. The figure turns around and walks through a closed door at the end of the hall.
Your hair is pretty red, but had to see your back to guess that you may be someone I knew. After all, the Knights Mora I know all run hard on their paths, never stopping to turn around. What do they say? May those who need them find them as its waters rise.
You're the shadows that only appear when the river rises, aren't you? Well, I need to find a leak right now. I'll count on you this once.
The floor trembles, and the sound of falling water grows louder. Narantuya steps through the flooded hole, running towards the armored figure.
This is...
On the other side of the door is neither another maze passage nor flowing sand. Through a crack in the door, she could see treasures piled up like a mountain, glowing with a radiance that 1,000 years could not dull. But she does not even have time to exclaim. A massive fissure appears on the floor, and the entire underground structure of the city trembles violently. The hiss of rapidly flowing sand is louder than ever. Beneath the city and right under her feet, a colossal vortex of quicksand forms.
Come on, that's the leak I'm supposed to plug?
I never thought the insides of this large gem would be anything like this.
Do you see the platform in the middle? It may be hard to see, but it's there in the center.
It's dazzling, but I should be able to feel my way. Ow! No chance I was going to see that step.
Be careful, there are 3 more.
I found the platform. There is a gem on it. What do I do next?
Would you take the gem from the platform and put it inside me?
Water is seeping in.
The structural integrity of the trove has been compromised by quicksand. River water is gushing in.
That means this place will soon be submerged.
The river will wash away all. Place the gem in my chest.
What does the last gem represent?
Emotions. It is my emotions. The centuries of solitude proved too hard to endure, and I had to part ways with most of my emotions.
Your gem is broken. Putting this in won't help.
I know. I just want to depart from this realm as a human.
You have always been human.
Thank you. About the City of Gold. There was something that I wanted to tell you.
Go on.
Never mind.
Huh? Zbair.
Let it go, Pepe. You must let me go. As the water rises above Zubair's face, the broken gem in his chest is shattered and washed away by the surging current. His chest grows empty, but his eyes are filled with contentment. He closes his eyes and sinks into the water with a smile on his face. Pepe holds him by his shoulder, feeling him grow lighter. She realizes that it is not the water that's making him lighter. Golden liquid flows through the gaps in her fingers. It is Zubair's body, melting away in the water. She instinctively tries to grab Zubair, but what is left of his shoulder dissipates at the force. Before long, Pepe alone remains in the water, watching as the golden current flows into the distance, carrying white lotus flowers.
May you guide his soul to rest, Horaket.
Water pours down. Narantuya remembers trying to catch an entire rain with the bottles in her pack when she was little.
Later, she learned that rain and drought are simply part of the cycle of life. Her tribe migrates with the weather atop their burden beasts. They cannot and need not carry so much water in their bags. Another tremor sends the structure beneath her feet close to collapsing. Beyond the sturdy door of the trove, gold coins clatter against each other, their alluring clings echoing the sound of her dreams. Wish I could tell those two kitties in a museum that a hole big enough to sink a city isn't going to be plugged by a few planks. Narantuya remembers how she dreamt about it. If she truly owned a mountain of gold, real gold, not the gilded iron ingots that the Lords Amir smelt or the empty checks they write, the first thing she would do is dance on top of it. That way, all the treasure will be captivated by her and never leave her again. Well then, let's dance. Narantuya backs off a little bit and lifts a black backpiece statue. Then she charges at the seemingly indestructible door.
Open up!
Slowly the door opens to her shout, and she glimpses a corner of the mountain of gold through the gap. The mountain of gold begins to collapse as the structure tilts further and further. Treasures beyond reckoning spill out, further widening a fissure as they crash onto the floor. Water crashing down from above mixes with the gold and sand, distorting the walls under its pressure and turning the massive treasure pile into a glittering waterfall. The Knight's Mora nimbly throws her knife and grabs onto the rope attached. Like an elegant dancer, she swings through the air, watching as the mountain of gold cascades into the shimmering deluge. She throws her hand back and laughs.
It's not quite how I envisioned it, but I knew I wasn't delusional. I really made it to the City of Radiance and struck gold. Honestly, how many in all of Sargon's history have enough gold to make it rain like a waterfall? I'll remember the sea of gold, just as I'll remember what I desire I shall have. I'll amass more gold and I'll make it rain once more. When the day comes, the deserts of Sargon will remember my name. This is my choice.
The glittering begins to dim as the gold falls through the fissure and into the vortex. The roiling sands begin to calm. The sunken treasure has filled the fissure, staunching the quicksand.
Wait a minute. One less piece of treasure or two wouldn't have made a difference, right? Why didn't I at least take one home? Goodbye, Zubair. So the trove collapsed when its guardian died. Makes sense. So, where am I? And how am I supposed to swim myself out when you've gone with the water? Now.
Water presses at her chest, rising above her eyes, still gently whirling, dragging her ever deeper. She feels everything grow dark around her. Then someone grabs her hand.
Guess luck is on my side after all. One last piece of treasure to take home. Has it stopped? Yes, Curator Anat. Sand isn't coming out of the taps anymore. Neither is water. Maybe it's just clogged. Maybe things... Don't worry. The jewel constructs have stopped moving. No sign of energy from the originium circuits. It may never wake up again. You were carrying that little pet of yours? I trust Pepe. Well, we've done what we could.
The chaos in the city has indeed stopped, but we can't be sure if it's over for good.
Yes, we are still anxious. We all owe your friend a great debt of gratitude. I promise that I will honor her deeds and Pepe's in my report, that their names will be known throughout the City of Radiance, and immortalized in the history books for posterity.
I don't mind being known throughout the city, but I'd rather not be immortalized in the history books until I'm actually dead. Narantuya? Hey, give me a hand with this girl here.
Pepe?
She probably would have been done for if I hadn't come across her while swimming out. I kept swimming up and ended up here.
You look awful. Where's your buyer?
Pepe turns her gaze to the pool next to her.
May you guide his soul to rest, Harek. Let time flow for him again. Let us all move forward once more. Hey, I almost drowned. Of course my face and lips are going to be a little blue. Never mind that. Let me see my accomplishments. The sand's gone from the city, right? And the water's clean now. Right now? How did you get your face so dirty when you've been inside the museum all this time? Come, let's wash away the dirt. No, not getting wet from the rain is the main reason why I don't do fieldwork.
Looks like I saved quite a few lives today. But I guess none of these kitties are competent enough to be my subordinates. What does a competent subordinate look like in the mind of that Kuranta? Well...
See, I told you Narantuya would be fine. She wouldn't have just left us here.
Sit down, Ajani. The fountain's shaky and it'll fall over if we both stand up at the same time. It's my turn to stand up now. Perhaps someone who fears nothing, like herself.
You too, Titi. It's such a fine and sunny day, isn't it?
Well, that's a rip for the general. So, for anybody who was hoping and coping that he might be playable, that does include me a slightly tiny bit. I salute thee. Good night. Good night, sweet prince. You can finally rest in peace. Ah, that was sad. That was very sad. I kind of saw it coming, but yeah. No, he ain't sticking around. He was on his way out. And he had a nice little send-off there as well. Also, in the meantime, Narantuya's continuous luck and bad luck being cranked to 100% on both ends is hilarious. I don't even have words for it to properly describe how amazingly stupid and hilarious it is at the same time. The treasure trove. I do wonder one thing though. I don't remember it was clearly stated. The treasure trove was placed there by Zubair, but considering that they are saying that the waters of the river are pretty much flowing down because of the sand, I do wonder a slightly tiny bit. Is the thing there that the whole ritual of throwing the gold into the river and stuff for the festival every year, is all of that gold actually landing in the treasure trove every single time? That is, if that's the case, that is amazing. They actually did save their lives with that whole thing. That whole ritual actually saved everybody's life. That is hilarious if that's the case. Because That's at least that's the take I got from the whole treasure trove story, and the whole showcase that he has these shadows that are appearing, probably recordings or something that are part of the prism, are appearing on the surface for people to keep on believing that there are ghosts around, which they aren't. They aren't, but at the same time, people keep tossing their gold and valuables into the river, and well, if all of that did land indeed into that treasure trove, got funneled into it essentially, well, that is interesting. But yeah, let's move on to our final little cutscene. The epilogue cutscene titled Crossroads, New Journey. Each go their separate paths in a city that is no less radiant after the turmoil.
But a shame that my garden was only half ruined. This was my opportunity to give it a makeover, but the remaining sculptures and plants got it away. Repairs are almost complete though. Would you like to visit?
I appreciate the offer, but I'm afraid I must decline for the time being. My gem collection is in disarray, and I need to have each piece appraised individually to restore my centuries-old collection room.
So, about the damage to the museum. I'll cover it up. If that doesn't work, I'll charm Father with reason and sweet talk. Either way, he will persuade the sponsors. And the museum's special new collection? Don't worry, I'll explain it in my letter. I don't think Father will allow you to display the ancient architecture that the jewel constructs recreated though. I understand. The first duty of the museum is not to display history, but to preserve it, and that includes ensuring that what should remain unseen, remains unseen. Thank you, Pepe. I can finally sleep well tonight. I'm the one who should thank you. You and Titi helped me find the gem, we made a historical discovery, and... Narantuya?
Huh? Oh, it's nothing. All that museum talk has gotten me bored, that's all.
I apologize. I invited you here because we wanted to express our gratitude. Regarding your request to include Give Ajazi and Ajani special treatment written into the museum rules, we are currently fulfilling it in a more, subtle manner. What are those? Some kind of clay figurine? No, 2 new members of the museum staff.
2 stooges who'll still go to work even if it's hot enough to melt roads.
I will instruct everyone to take good care of them before resigning my post as acting curator. I still can't believe it, Anat. Are you really giving up on your job? I suppose Father won't be happy with my decision. For as long as I can remember, I've watched the city through the window. If it were a book, I think I finally finished it. Its history, its past, its deeply buried secrets, which would have remained hidden if not for adventurers like you charging headlong into them. Amazing, isn't it? It's only been 2 days, but the city is already mostly restored to its former state. There is still a lot of repair work to do on the houses, and the cracked roads will need to be paved again, but the water supply is clean again.
Of course, the river always flows.
Yes, the river always flows, no matter how many cities turn to sand and how many more are built upon it. The waters will carry away all. In the face of eternity, it's more of a certainty than a choice. But eternity has no meaning. Well, like Titi said, it's not such a bad thing for the museum to have an outlandish exhibition once in a while. That I agree. You know, before coming here, I really did imagine going on a heart-racing adventure. Of course, it's nothing like what we've been through, just a battle of wits and courage with someone who's after my gems. Pity no one would actually do that to me. Such a shame. Actually, there's one more thing I'd like to ask, Pepe. You know I'm a huge fan of Dr. Erickson's. Now that my research on Zubair is scrapped, I want to see other places on Terra, just like Dr. Erickson did. I want to compile what I see in letters and send them to him. I want to become pen pals with him. Hey, that's a good reason to leave the museum. But you faint from heat stroke just by standing too long in the city garden. Shouldn't you get some physical training if you want to do field work? That's what I wanted to ask you, Pepe. Can I travel across Terra in an air-conditioned vehicle? Sorry, Narantuya. We wanted to go further with you before saying goodbye. But we can't be skipping work if we're aiming for Employee of the Month at the museum. Plus, this camcorder is really fun. Shut up, this videotape is a gift for Narantuya. It's something she'll always carry with her, so be serious. Hey Narantuya, we'll throw gold coins into the river if we really miss you. I heard the river that flows through the city will reach the ends of the land, so you can find our gold coins no matter where you go. Ajani's right.
I must point out that this river does not flow to Minos, let alone the ends of the lands.
You didn't have to say it out loud, you know. Plus, I'm not planning to go all the way to the ends of the lands.
Speaking of which, why have you decided to abandon them and walk the Kagan quest alone?
I didn't abandon them. The two stooges have finally found where they belong. I couldn't stick to any of the Kagan quest rules before. Now I can at least travel around on my own and conveniently call it my Kagan quest. Saves some effort, doesn't it?
I suspected you were Knights Mora on more than one occasion, but I thought it wasn't something you wanted to talk about.
I didn't talk about it because there was nothing to talk about. Besides, wouldn't it suck if people remembered me as a Knights Mora and not by my name, Narantuya?
Where does your Kagan quest end?
According to tradition, the Kagan quest ends at home. But I can't go home because of some things I did a long time ago.
Home?
Yeah. Most people consider the location of their chosen trial to be the destination, but the Kagan quest doesn't end until you complete your trial and return home alive. That's the hardest part. A lot of people just keep going further and further away. I don't like to make things difficult for me. Maybe, I'll call it a day once I find my next subordinate.
I wish you a smooth journey.
What about you? Have you had your fill of the museum these few days?
Medjehtiqedti has kindly granted me access to the parts of the collection not open to public, but the more I see, the more actually I become aware of the gaps in my knowledge and in the history of Minos. There is nothing more I can do here after helping them with the write-ups for the renovated Minoan exhibit. I will bring photographs of the collections to Minos and share them with experts. Hopefully, they will be able to prove the existence of competitive philosophical debates in ancient Minos. After that, I might take the goblet back home.
Oh, speaking of which, I have a present for you. The convoy will depart soon. Take this and flee, go back to Minos. Farewell, friend.
Narantuya turns around and, with confident strides, walks away from the setting sun. As anticipated, she hears Aspasia's exclamation a moment later.
That's the museum's Shh. Just say thank you and leave with the stuff as quickly as you can. Don't ask questions.
Thank you.
You really want to ask?
I don't have to, remember? Thank you, Narantuya. It has been a most rewarding trip. Cheers! The convoy rings its bells, a signal for departure. Narantuya waves her hand without turning back. With my golden blessing, you better win a golden medal. Speaking of rewards, a whole month of hard work and all I had to show for was that goblet. I guess there was something else too. I don't remember. It's okay. It was my choice. I chose this. It's just a cup made of gold. There must be so many more waiting for me.
Lazvar, won't you let me perform it for you just this once before you leave? I promise I'll swallow your clockwork toy and spit it out whole again, without the slightest bite mark.
It's not as if I could stop you if you wanted to. Go on. I'm curious if it will grow some real feathers. Mio just misses you, that's all. No need to let its antics delay you. Everyone knows the rules of the trading post well now. The Grand Bazaar will select a new overseer, or create a new order. You can leave without worry. Do you really feel reluctant to part even when your existence is practically eternal?
Of course! This is the gem trading post of the City of Radiance. I only ever pick the best place to live.
You could try keeping a real pet, not sovereigns of beasts like Mio and I, or clockwork foul beasts. Sure.
Successful merchants keep special pets. The minimum standard for you is an albino foul beast or a rainbow fin at least 3 meters long. Understood?
Come, let me pet you. Seemingly reluctant, Mio jumps onto the table in front of the human, lowers its head, and tucks its tail.
Farewell, little human. Farewell.
Sometime later, it opens its eyes again, certain that no one is watching. Its shadow grows to a size far exceeding that of a regular cloud beast's.
Are you still staying here then? Zubair has found his final rest. The descendant of the Shah has learned the truth of the trove, those whispers that echo through time. And you took the Knight's Mora to see the treasure, didn't you?
She had proven her courage by jumping into the waterway depths. Therefore, I fulfilled my promise to Zubair.
Then I suppose all our promises have been fulfilled, now that Zubair has passed on. Those of the present and those of 1,000 years ago. The city no longer has anything to do with the promises we first made.
But I will stay, for this city is alive. I promise to protect the dead, so that they may live again.
I thought you would miss the City of Gold.
The city that is now silent. It needs us no longer.
True. It's as if the entire city has its tongue cut out by the Shahanshah. I don't like it. But unlike you, I'm going to see it for myself.
Alright, give me the list of sponsors to visit. Take inventory of these collections. I'll arrange repairs later. Hold on, don't send this to the natural exhibits. It's not amber. Didn't you see the fragments of a jewel construct inside? Just set this aside, consider it part of my personal collection. Hey, little cloud beast.
Lazarus, right? Let me touch your fur. See what comes out of your mouth this time. Yeah. Just what I wanted. What? Yes, I'm talking. I've designated you as my keeper. Understood? From now on, I tell you where to go.
6 months later.
You've got a visitor, Pepe. One moment, just writing the concluding remarks. You've been getting an endless stream of visitors since our essay on Zubair caught the attention of academia and media. I can decline the requests if they're bothering you. No, it's okay. I can meet them. I want this essay to reach more people. I want all of Sargon to know Zubair better. I'll bring her in then. Your steps are light, Hanim Effendi. I heard the rattling of your accessories, but not a single footstep.
Ah, the honored house of historians. The heir not chosen.
Pardon me, but you're...
I apologize for not introducing myself sooner. I am the herald of the Shahanshah. I hereby convey to you His Majesty the Shahanshah's gratitude and appreciation for your invaluable contributions to the history of Sargon. I also bring forth the Shahanshah's decree. Hatshepsut, His Majesty awaits your presence in the Sharagade, so that he may hear of your exploits in Menat-Ha'mait, in your own words. Kindly make ready and depart without delay. His Majesty eagerly anticipates your arrival.
And that is our story. They do leave it open-ended, and definitely that last moment is teasing quite the next story, which I have no idea when we're gonna see. If they are gonna do this event as a summer event every time, well, summer event in the CN client, then maybe potentially in a year from now we're gonna see a continuation of this story. If not, at some point they're definitely gonna continue it, because that was ended open-ended. But yeah, that is our story. And like I said before, the operator record for Sand Reckoner will be up on the channel probably a day after this goes live, so keep a lookout for it, and obviously keep a lookout for the description of the video. If that is going to be the case, I will be putting all the links, like I said at the beginning of the video, in all the places, and you will find it very easily. And also there are clips at the end of this episode as well if you want to hop on to them. But right now I do want to, as always, talk a tiny bit about the story, the characters and stuff, as I do here at the end. So if you just want to see the clips, like I said at the beginning of the video, timestamps, just hit them and you will see them. But in the meantime, let me run this so it does something and grinds something in the meanwhile, while we have our little talky talk. Alright, so this story was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. This was pretty good, pretty surprising. It was one of those stories that I went in without any, you know, kind of prior knowledge as to what the hell is gonna be happening in it, and what these characters are all gonna be about. And all I can say, I'm very positively surprised. But all in due order. First, let's go over the characters before I talk about any kind of plot, because plot-wise and lore-wise, I mean, outside of talking about Lugal and Karandu Kagan, there wasn't too much. They mentioned that Lugalszargus, aka the Shahanshah of the past, in the past has been using technology that was uncovered and used to pretty much produce holograms and stuff like that. And that is pretty much an indicator that yes, it's essentially the tech that was left by the Doctor Strays, and people keep finding it and utilizing, especially in the past when it wasn't, you know, too disheveled. Yeah, that part was pretty interesting that is the case. But then again, more on Lugalszargus. I'm gonna make that video at some point when I finally get around to compile everything properly. The video that I was planning for a long while for all the different endings of IS-4. Now, for people who are confused right now and are thinking, wait, why is he mentioning IS-4? Well, ending 4 for IS-4, aka Expeditioner Joklemakar, is well, it's pretty much related to this whole thing and Lugalszargus, essentially. In what way, I will leave that for later, but it definitely is stupidly related to this whole thing. But eventually I'll get around to make that video about that ending. But yeah, our characters for this event. Let's go with the minor ones. The two stooges, as called by Narantuya, Ajazi and Ajani, which also get called by a different name from the personnel of the museum, is they're funny. You can feel the bit of we're stupid, but that doesn't matter. We're wholesome kind of feel. I did enjoy them. They had their antics. They were single and very simple-minded, but they were enjoyable. And I do wonder if they're gonna have any kind of return in the future, or gonna appear in any kind of relevation to the museum, because they're now pretty much working for it full-time. So we'll see. Then another one of the both minor and apparently probably more major characters in the future, Titi, which I will not say that full name again for the time being. I want to relax from it. Also, as cute as Titi sounds, do I need to point out why that name is also very very weird? But yeah, anyway. Don't really have much to say about her as a character. She's definitely a smart person and everything, and wants the best for her friends. But I feel like she needs more character development outside of the little bits that were shown in this whole thing. They like tease her past with working for Colombian museums and stuff. But I kinda wanna see more of it. I wanna see what happened in the past, and well, not just past. I want to see where it's gonna go from here, because Mio has decided that Titi is gonna be her new owner, quote unquote. So yeah, please, I kind of want more development for her as a character, because she kind of needs it the most out of all of them in this story. Then we have Aspasia, who I don't think I need to mince words anymore around her. If Aspasia is not the like biggest tease for a future Minoan story, then I freaking don't know. Like, come on, Hypergriff, it's been over 5 years at this point. Can we get a Minos story? Like, seriously, can we get a Minos story at this point? They keep teasing it in small bits and certain operators and stuff like that, like Palas. And in some operator records, Minos gets mentioned again and again, but we never get it. So can we finally get a story set in Minos, you know? It's really high time that we get it. It's so stupid that we didn't have it at this point. Same for not Japan. That also didn't happen yet. I'm not counting the Monster Hunter story. I will never count the Monster Hunter story as set in that place. Never. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, Minos, please, and also Aspasia as one of the main banner characters, please. that was a woman and a half. And everybody simping for her is hilarious. But it explains it. I mean, I said it before, she I think I said it before at least. She has that knightly attitude, which is one of those tropes that gets used in a lot of stories where the character will always swoon because of their stance and charisma and everything, everybody without even trying. So that's, it's fun. It's fun at the end of the day. But yeah, fun character. I hope to see more of her, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the story with her will go. Then we have Anat, aka Papyrus, who, how to best describe it? An absolute adorable, wholesome little bean. Very competent museum curator and everything. And yeah, she did have quite a lot of character development as well, or rather more so a showcase of her character, so to speak. As in, we got to see how she actually acts. I did listen a tiny bit through her voice files initially, before I started recording. Well, not before I started recording. When I got her the other episode, essentially. And she does, in her voice record, sound more like a scaredy cat in a lot of senses, but, well, I mean, she is. But I like how the story sets her up more as a very competent person, that even in the aspect of her getting scared, she's still getting stuff done and coordinating stuff around. I do like the ending there as well, where she's asking Pepe if she can travel the world in an air-conditioned vehicle. That is funny as hell, not gonna lie. But yeah, a very, very wholesome and cute little bean, and deserves all the ear fluffing that she can get. Then we have our big hitters of the story. First and foremost, we have Mio and Woof, who I would say came out of nowhere. I did not expect to see Beast Lords in this story, or Sovereigns in this case. And for those of you who might be asking, Sovereign, Beast Lord, does that matter? No, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. Doesn't matter. I don't know if it's retconning calling them Sovereigns now instead of Beast Lords, but it might just be a regional thing as well, where in places they are called Sovereigns, in other places they are called Beast Lords. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. But yeah, like I said at the beginning of this part as well, the operator record that will go up with Sand Reckoner a day after this does showcase their relationship a bit more with him. And like I said, it's very much a parent-child relationship between the two sides. It's very wholesome. It's very, very wholesome. But yeah, that's about that. I was just surprised to see not just one but two Beast Lords in the same story, and that was kind of surprising and nice and very welcome. Hopefully they're gonna have. I mean, Mio at least will have another appearance sometime in the future, as they teased at the end. She is taking Titi, it seems, to the City of Gold, which immediately also prompts me to think that Titi is probably gonna become a playable character. I mean, her design is already foretelling that she's definitely gonna be in some way or shape playable at some point. I mean, she has a staff weapon and everything, and has way too much detail to her character to not be playable in the future. But we'll see where that ends. I wonder what she's gonna be if playable. Considering she definitely has a staff, so I'm presuming she's either gonna be a caster or a supporter, probably. I don't know. Maybe even a summoner? Could be. Could be. Actually, could see her mostly as a summoner type of character. But probably not more than 5-star. If the event, eventually the event for the next story in this storyline gets placed into the game, I'm gonna put my chips down on Titi being a 5-star free character for the event, pretty much, and a summoner. That's where my chips are on at the moment for her. Then we have Lazvar, who I already briefly talked about. I can't really say much about the guy. He was okay. He had his character development and explanation as to what his role was in the whole thing. His family line being indebted to Zubair essentially, and he pretty much just carrying on the legacy. Capable guy, and a clockwork-oriented person as well. Very interesting thing. But yeah, not really much to say outside of that, besides that the guy is a pretty wholesome dude. And that's it. That's all I can say about him. Didn't really have too much going on outside of that. Still, pretty decent. Have nothing really bad to say about the guy. Then our three big ones. So, Zubair. My god, what a guy. Did not... First off, obviously I seen the 3D animation. I did expect the mummy to move at some point in the story, so that was no surprise. Just funny how it started. But, on the other hand, having someone from like 1,000 years ago around that was together with Lugalszargus was his general, and not just one of his most capable generals, but also his son essentially, and a direct family connection to Pepe is insane. That is something I did not expect. That caught me by surprise, actually. Like, damn, the parallel. There were already parallels between him and Pepe. Pretty much having like the same family circumstances, sorta, as he also had a sister and she has a brother, and they have very similar relationships between each other, like between their siblings, and yeah, that was very wholesome. I do kind of feel sorry for the guy. He went through so much shit. Like, yes, he did take lives as he's a general and everything, but he didn't seem like any kind of bloodthirsty asshole, at least. He was respectable. Like, I have nothing but respect for the guy. And, yeah, essentially, even though he's human, his as described, his circuits and everything did make him into also quite partially a machine at that point. Because he just couldn't say no to anything that he had to do, essentially. So a bit sad on that front that he couldn't just say what he wanted to do. But the funny thing is, I'm under the belief that no matter what, even if those circuits wouldn't push him to do what he was doing at the end, he would probably have done the same. Because I think the guy just wanted to pass on. I mean, he was a human, especially that scene at the end where he is describing that just to survive for that long, like mentally survive, he literally had to take the majority of his emotions and put them into a gem, into a separate gem from every other gem, and take the gem out so he doesn't go insane. Because that's the reality of a mortal being. We can only live for a certain amount of time, and if you extend that time, we go loopy, because our brains are not meant to handle that stress. And that long period. Not saying that humanity could not evolve to a point where, you know, we could handle the mental stress, but it has to happen organically. Not induced through some kind of technology. As much as people want to live forever, living forever is insanity. But yeah, the philosophical side by this put to the side for a moment, it was a pretty good thing with him. I did enjoy his character, like I said, and it was both pretty sad and it was pretty sad in general to just see him go, but also very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm happy for him, essentially, that he finally got the rest that he deserves. So that's that. I did, and also him not not ever being able to tell his sister goodbye, or even Lugalszargus, but finding in Pepe the means to say goodbye in a symbolical sense to his sister was also very wholesome. And while Pepe's brother is alive, of course, she can go and yoink him out of that city if she needs to. Alright, then we have Narantuya. What a character. Like I said many times, her stupid luck being continuously cracked to both 100% and her bad luck being cracked to 100% is hilarious. I really have no words. Like, holy hell, what is this character? Her antics were amazing, her cockiness amazing, and then at the same time her chicken legs by running away from danger. I was expecting it. I was kind of starting to suspect it, that she is gonna turn out to be a actual blood descendant of Karandu Kagan. When they pointed out in the story, I think it was her herself. Wait, was the story pointing it out, or did I hear it in her voice lines? I can't remember right now. In one of the two points, I remember hearing a line where I think she was the one talking about that she can't dye her red hair for reasons, and it's 100% the bloodline thing that is preventing her from changing the red color, as Karandu Kagan definitely had a very full, very extremely red mane. I'm trying to think about Tola now. I know he's always in armor, but I can't remember if he has red hair anywhere protruding out of the armor. I remember the armor being very red, but I can't remember if there was hair ever shown on him. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, doesn't matter. Tola doesn't matter right now, as sad as I am. But yeah, anyway. Her being a direct descendant of Karandu Kagan is pretty huge, and I do wonder if that will lead into anything. Also, her being a very wholesome being, as in being very protective of her subordinates, caring for them, trying to find the best solutions for them, and just a place to live their lives out peacefully is also very, very nice. I wonder if she's gonna show up in any future stories, because I feel like for now her story has concluded. I mean, she's heading out on her Kagan quest. Well, reluctantly. She's just killing time, apparently, with it. But I do wonder if she's gonna show up at any given point. I mean, she could show up maybe in the Minos story, like she misses Aspasia so much that she's gonna go and look for her. Could be. But we'll see about that. I'm not gonna put my chips on her showing up for a future Minos story, but I could be positively surprised, and she does show up in it. But we'll see. She does have the potential to show up in any Sargon story, though, so that's always up in the cards, in the clouds. But yeah, anyway, good character, very good characterization. Did enjoy her antics quite a lot, gave me quite a lot of laughs. And hope to see more of her at some point. And, of course, our final character for this, Pepe. My god, what a character. I am probably the most shocked and surprised by how much both development and character depth she has. Like, initial glance, you would just think of her probably in the terms of, oh, cute, oh, it's another Namia child, so extra cute. And she has all of those antics, all of those expressions. I mean, they literally put in those emoticon, like the comic or manga emoticon lines that they put in those to just give her extra personality and goofiness. And she is a goofy character, that's for sure, and a bit full of herself. But with meaning, rather. But my god, the character depth behind her and motivations and why she does stuff the way she does and so on and so forth. That was probably the most shocking and surprising part about this story. Really made me like her as a character, and I have nothing but positive impressions and words for her as a character in general. And I hope to see more of her. I mean, considering she's gonna be going to the City of Gold, it seems from the little tease at the end, she will more than likely be appearing in that story then. Now, to what capacity and how big of a role she will have in it, I can't really predict. I hope she's gonna be at least decently represented in it and not just like a side character. But yeah, we'll see about that. But here, seeing her developed as a character was just amazing. Like, up until the point where the whole shtick is happening with in the previous part of this narration, where she was talking to Anat, and the whole reason behind her wanting to be the historian for the Shahansha in the City of Gold was revealed. Up until that point, I was just literally just thinking about her as a goofy, cute character, and that part just flipped everything. Or like, holy shit. She telling that she's doing that not just for the sake of becoming a historian, but mostly and primarily for the sake of her brother was... Oh, that was so good. That sent so many shivers down my spine at that point in the story. That was insane. That was just such an insane little reveal for a character that is as goofy as she is. But yeah, that then... seeing the parallels between her and her predecessors, the sister of Zubair, essentially, the origin of her bloodline, pretty much putting her as well, like I said, with Zubair, making them, showcasing that the two of them are family, insane. Those reveals were pretty insane. And yeah, really nothing but positive words about this character. just positive and good impressions. But yeah, I think that will be it for this part. Again, the story was good, was pretty short as well. Not too long, not too short. Development was happening. Maybe felt a tiny bit rushed at the end, like stuff was suddenly very... After the plot point with Pepe was revealed and their motivation, the story suddenly shifted into very high gear very quickly and advanced pretty quickly along, so yeah, I don't know. Very good story, and I'm looking forward to more. And we'll see if we're gonna get that in the future. But for now, this is gonna be it for the story. So then, for those of you who are waiting, the clips will follow. There is a couple that I will probably curate out of whatever I have. And yeah, in the meantime, all I can say is thank you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please consider leaving a like on the video. It would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you want to help me out even more and directly, the memberships are obviously open. And as I say, no video will be behind the membership. It is purely there just to support me and the channel in general. And there are multiple price values on them, so even a single buck will help. But yeah, thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And I will see you in the next thing. Now, when the next thing is gonna be, I have no idea. As of right now, because I haven't looked up if people data mined anything and when stuff comes, but you can be guaranteed that I will be obviously doing the story coverage as usual when it happens. Until then, hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye. Oh shit, this image? Well, I'm glad I did a little recap at the beginning. Well, I am very glad I did a little recap. Uh-huh. Here we are again.
Was he a narcissist?
Maybe. Okay, not. Apparently not. But He was probably leaving more messages, right? Let's see.
Of course not. My sister missed father after he was gone, and she had me preserve his visage here.
Oh, a picture of Daddy. Basically, that's kind of adorable.
1,000 years ago, historians preserved the words and deeds of my father using ancient technology they discovered, allowing him to appear in a way.
Okay, so it is indeed... I was jokingly calling it hologram technology, but it indeed is literally just hologram technology according to this then.
I found something similar in Arsalan. It showed me an image of the Shah in a crystal cave.
I left it as such. I thought the descendant of Knights Mora would find it and follow the trail.
Oh! It was... okay. I thought the descendants that it was left for was the Aslan bloodline. But okay, he left it for the Knights Mora. Well, Zubair that one specifically was left by Zubair. Okay, that puts stuff into an interesting perspective. now with the extra knowledge.
Are these shadows what the people of the city see year after year?
Huh. So they have a physical origin. They're not just random apparitions that people may see, like they think they saw something, they actually saw something. Because it comes from down here. Ooh. Because it's right below the river, isn't it? That's fascinating. Didn't think there was gonna be an explanation to that random thing. Ooh, what is this music? Oh, that's the prism.
About the City of Gold, there was something that I wanted to tell you.
Go on.
Never mind.
Oh, come on, you cheapskate! What is it? You dingus!
Huh?
Yes, huh, indeed.
Zubair,
Let go, Pepe. You must let me go.
Aww. This song is so pretty.
may you guide his soul to rest, Harek.
Oh. Oh. Then she charges at the seemingly indestructible door. Open up! Hmm? Did it literally open up for her because she said it? Because it's coded to a Knight's Mora? That is hilarious. That is hilarious if so. Oh my god. Well, there goes your inheritance. Oh god, Narantuya, I swear, your luck is... Your luck and your bad luck are so stupid. They are at max at the same time, and they are just fighting each other. This is hilarious. This character is absolute hilarity. I swear.
The glittering begins to dim as the gold falls through the fissure into the vortex. The roiling sands begin to calm. The sunken treasure has filled the fissure, staunching the quicksand.
The treasure is gonna block the hole! Oh my god. The hilarity of this.
Then someone grabs her hand.
Hey! There we go. There we go. You finally got the kitten.
Thank you. Guess luck is on my side after all. One less piece of treasure to take home.
You stupid idiot. Oh, you stupid idiot. Ooh. Wow. This
The city really looks impressive. Like, damn.
Pity no one would actually do that to me. Such a shame.
Oh, that awkward laugh there is amazing. Yeah, pity, huh? Right, Narantuya? Wink.
I want to become pet pals with him.
Oh, that's adorable. Wow.
That's what I want to ask you, Pepe. Can I travel across Terra in an air-conditioned vehicle?
Yes, welcome to Rhode Island. Fuck's sake. Whoa, that's a close-up. Hi. Speaking of which, why have you decided to abandon them and walk the Kagan quest alone? Oh, she's doing her Kagan quest. Look at this. Wow. That's the museum's Shh. Just say thank you and leave with the stuff as quickly as you can. Oh, she yoinked the goblet out of the museum and gave it to her. These two. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, these two. Don't ask questions. Thank you. You really won't ask? Oh, shut up! Shut up! You just... Oh my god. You just want to boast. I don't have to, remember? Thank you, Narantuya. It has been a most rewarding trip. Cheers. The convoy rings its bells, a signal for departure. Narantuya waves her hands without turning back. With my golden blessing, you better win a gold medal. Oh! Oh! No! Oh, she is missing her so much already. That is adorable. Fuck me. Oh, the fist trembling and everything, and a tear, a single tear. Oh, you dingus. Fuck's sake. Now I want the flip. I want the flip. It's not gonna happen. I want the flip. I want the picture to flip and be Aspasia's face, and she's also like shedding a single tear. That would be beautiful, but that's not gonna happen. Also, that woman shedding a tear would be a miracle. Speaking of rewards, a whole month of hard work. This is why you're crying. This is why she's crying. A whole month of hard work, and all I had to show for was that goblet. I guess there was something else too. I don't remember. It's okay. It's my choice. I chose this. It's just a cup made of gold. There must be so many more waiting for me. You motherfucker. Give me back my reaction and emotions, you bitch! I was crying about the goblet, you bitch. Ah! Okay. Seemingly reluctant, Mio jumps onto the table in front of the human, lowers its head, and tucks its tail. Oh! Oh, the purring! Let me touch your fur. See what comes out of your mouth this time. Yeah, just what I wanted. Huh? What? Yes, I'm talking. I've designated you as my keeper. Wow, really? I've designated you as my keeper. Understood? From now on, I'll tell you where to go. Oh. 6 months later? Oh. The fuck? That is a time jump. I'll bring her in then. Whoa. Hi.
Uh-huh. A scorpion? Well, these characters are rare. Yo. What the fuck is this character? Also, really? Cat paws? Those are interesting accessories. Oh, they're definitely leaving this on a thing of, hey, look out for a future game. A future game? Future story.
Kindly make ready and depart without delay. His Majesty eagerly anticipates your arrival.
Ooh, and this is where it Yep, this is where it ends. Alright. Alright then.